And good morning, friends. Welcome to another edition of Here I Stand. We have several topics we will be discussing in the next 30 minutes or so. Our Mayor Lori Lightfoot of the Empire of Chicago. We'll have a little update on what is taking place in the SBC. We got a little Joe Biden warning and some other details. So I'm Pastor Calvin Lindstrom, Church of Christian Liberty, Arlington Heights, Illinois, joined by Pastor James Pittman. James has a very good audio and video ministry called For Such a Time as This. I would encourage you to check out the other videos that he and other members of his church are producing. So James, ready to get rolling here?
We are ready.
This is our back end going here.
Yep, this is our first time going live on our YouTube channel for such a time as this. Kelvin and I have been doing For Here I Stand for some years, and so we are going to move it over to the platform on the YouTube for such a time as this, so we can reach a larger audience. We'll be more consistent in the future about our time. It should be, I don't know, Thursday mornings, but you all can you can see us live, and we would love to open up our discussion to live interaction. So this is the initial one. We did not initially open it up and advertise it because we're getting, again, the back end solid. Right. But we look forward to this. I mean, I've had a lot of fun with this as we tackle current issues. But yeah, first time on For Such a Time as This, and YouTube channel, and we'll be doing this more regularly.
Amen. Well, today or recently it was announced that Chicago mayor, triple threat as she likes to call herself, as Dan Prof, she's truly the intersectional person. Because she is African American, she is a woman, she is a lesbian. So the triple threat, yes. And she is facing backlash because she is saying she is only going to give interviews, one-on-one interviews with black or brown, black or brown reporters is the
yes. Yes.
The article there, and
yes,
it was interesting. Here is Gregory Pratt. I'm a Latino reporter with Chicago Tribune whose interview request was granted for today. However, I asked the mayor's office to lift its conditions on others, and when they said no, we respectfully canceled. Yep. Politicians don't get to choose who covers them. I don't know anything about Gregory Pratt, but you know what? I got to respect him for this decision. That could have probably been a little bit of a ratings perk for him.
Yep.
But you know what? Here's the interesting thing. When someone who works for the Trib has more sense of what's going on some of these issues, I'm thankful for that. So anyway, this was the other tweet. Chicago mayor reaches her 2-year midway point. Her spokeswoman. I can't believe they're using spokeswoman. That's really that should be a spokes thing.
Makes sense. I see. Yeah, that seems a little too binary. Is that what you're saying?
Oh yes, a spokes. I go with thing. I want politicians to start calling themselves things.
There you
Her
go.
spokesthing says Lightfoot is granting one-on-one interviews only to black or brown journalists. And there was a time where I think it was Martin Luther King who said he wanted people to be judged by the content of their character and not the color of their skin.
That's old news, Calvin. That's no longer true.
Truly, that vision has been supplanted by this new vision of
Yes.
we must see color,
Have
and
to.
if you say you don't see color, that is considered racist.
Yes. The world is turned upside down. It literally is. It's a dangerous time because if we look at it on its face value, it is very difficult, and it would be very, very difficult to have a society. I mean, just imagine it. It's really hard for us to imagine. Imagine a culture in which truth doesn't matter, in which the very words in which we've taken for granted all this time, they're redefined.
Right.
And it is a very, very, very dangerous place.
Yes.
To be.
I like to try to keep things simple in terms of all this. Really, you can say this goes back to the original deception in the garden.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You will be as God, knowing good and evil. You can determine and judge reality. That is the, you might say, that is the greater crisis above the whole trans and other stuff, is you get to shape reality. And last week, if you did not see our discussion on critical race theory, part of critical race theory says objective truth, either it doesn't exist, or if it does, it should take a secondary role to your own experience, your own perception, your own narrative.
Unbelievable.
Some of that comes out of postmodernism, but we are seeing a rush headlong into this idea of you get to choose your own reality, and with that you get to be a racist, and yet
a racist
ways of the world. Right?
And when the Chicago media goes after you,
right?
You know you have a problem. Let me play the clip here.
Sure.
The Chicago media going after Lori Lightfoot. Here it is.
Today is Chicago Mayor Lightfoot's 2-year anniversary in office. To mark that occasion, Lightfoot announced she would only grant one-on-one interviews to Black and brown journalists. WGN political reporter Tamon Bradley sat down with her to learn more about that decision.
Your office says that you invited Black and brown journalists to this round of interview. Why? I'm happy to vouch for Craig Wall, for Heather Cherone, and others.
Well, look, I think in this one day, when we are looking at the 2-year anniversary of my inauguration, as a woman of color, as a lesbian, it's important to me that diversity is put front and center.
Mayor Lori Lightfoot defending her most unusual decision to only invite Black and brown journalists to her office for one-on-one interviews. The move infuriated the mostly white City Hall press corps. The outrage exploded on Twitter. One Latino newspaper reporter wrote he agreed to the sit-down but backed out to make a point.
If I, Black woman mayor, the first ever, don't challenge us, the collective us, to do better, to really make sure that in every institution, it reflects the diversity and nuance and texture of our city, then shame on me.
Mayor Lightfoot is known to clash with opponents or those who question her. Reporting on leaked emails revealed the mayor, upset about critical reporting and commentary, canceled her Chicago Tribune subscription. There are some folks you've been feuding with. Some people look at this as sort of a payback.
It has nothing to do with that. The facts are the facts. Look at the people who cover City Hall.
Charles Thomas knows the City Hall beat well as a former television political reporter. He says although newsroom diversity is an important topic, he questions the mayor's timing.
This is a distraction. Instead of talking about crime, talking about disarray in her administration, talking about education, talking about city finances, we're talking about this.
In our one-on-one, we discuss police reform, an elected school board, COVID's impact on businesses, and much more. Catch our sit-down with Mayor Lightfoot later today.
All right. So when the Chicago media goes after you, and just for sake, this is our first time. We were actually private for the first 9 minutes. I just made it public on YouTube.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll work those kinks out. But when the Chicago media
Mm-hmm.
goes after the Chicago mayor,
Mm-hmm.
Houston, we have a problem. Or in this case,
Yes.
Chicago, we have a problem.
You know,
we have a problem. But
I'm going to say this. I am happy. I am happy she did that because I think
yes.
it shows how ludicrous this
Yes.
mentality and agenda
Yes.
is.
Yes, absolutely.
And you know what? Were there some people? I mean, I guess there are some people who like her. You know, the people who are on her payroll or whatever. I mean,
That's what are you saying? The only people that like her on her payroll? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, right. Yeah. I mean, there are some people in Chicago who think she's doing a great job. I don't know about that.
Yeah.
But I think that Charles Thomas, I think he was 100% right. This is a distraction. It makes her the center of the focus, but also it does show how ludicrous this is. Anyway, James, I want to move on to we talked about this briefly last week, and just get your take a little more on this subject, and that is the SBC annual meeting.
Yes.
And that is coming up June 15th and 16th. Now, I mention it because you are SBC. And even though I am not, I am concerned about what is taking place in the SBC. And if you are a Christian in our nation, you should be also, because of the significance, the influence of this denomination. So June 15th and 16th, there are lots of other little, I'm guessing, side shows and the like. Boy, they're at the Music City Center in downtown Nashville. So,
now let me say this before it's 15th and 16th, but there is going to be a founders, Tom Asco's group of founders on the 14th, in which conservatives will gather, encourage each other, and unite to go forward in the conference, the 15th and the 16th. And so that's going to be on the 14th. That's going to be very, 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 very good. So,
so yeah, no, we will we'll keep our eye open to that. And in SBC news, James, I don't know if you're shedding a tear over this or not.
I wept all night long.
Russell Moore
wept all night long.
going over to Christianity Astray or Christianity Today, depending on how you call it.
I've not heard that before.
Oh yeah,
that's a good one.
That's an old one.
But here's my thing. Here's my take on that. I hope this is the reason. Maybe Russell Moore has seen the tea leaves.
Yeah.
Maybe he has seen what's coming. As of right now, the conservatives are backing the most popular candidate that the conservatives are backing is Pastor Mike Stone out of Georgia. And maybe Russell Moore has his ear to the ground and sees what's coming. And maybe this is an opportunity that he's going to jump ship before the conservatives sweep into power, hopefully next month. Otherwise, why would he leave the ERLC? Something that has been his baby for years.
Yeah, that's the ethics, religious liberty.
ERLC,
what's the C?
I don't know.
Okay. Ethics, religious liberty
council or
council,
consultant or something like that. I don't know.
Let me ask you this: how much does Russell Moore influence does he have in the SBC? There are those that do like him, and you know what? I'm going to say this: I'm not a total ant. I don't think he's the devil or anything. So I think it was several years ago. We might have even have played a clip of one of his talks. You know, I have very conflicted feelings towards him. I'm not sad to see this, and I think it's deeply suspicious when he goes to Christianity Today, which is such a it is.
But they're like-minded, though, Calvin. It shows you who he is. He's been at odds with the conservatives in the Southern Baptist Convention for years.
Right.
They've led efforts to try to defund the ERLC,
That's
and
right.
it failed because he had a lot of compadres or
Right.
compatriots within the executive committee. But for years, he's been at odds with a good portion of the Southern Baptist Convention, and many of the Southern Baptist Convention did not think Russell Moore spoke for them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been very continuous for the last few years.
Let me highlight this. I still don't know what this means. The Public Theology Project will extend and build upon that tradition, seeking to reground and revitalize a beautiful and orthodox public theology for our day.
Public theology. Keyword public theology.
I don't honestly know what that means.
I know what it doesn't mean. Public theology doesn't mean biblical theology. That's what I'm pretty sure, because that's the direction it seems like the ERLC has been going in for many years. So
it will convene a broad set of voices on matters of faith in the public square.
Say that again. A broad
set of voices on matters of faith in the public square. Published content
not biblical voices.
Published content in multiple media that fleshes out the implications of the gospel for the whole of life and hosts gatherings and events. It will also be the main outlet for Moore's regular writing and his podcast signpost. So, to me,
good.
Yeah. So
good.
Anyway.
I say good.
Yes. Well,
I say good. I say good.
Now, who gets to appoint the next head of
good question. I don't know.
Ethics,
ERLC.
Religious Liberty, Commission.
ERLC, Commission. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea.
Okay.
I have no idea.
I'm guessing
the
president of the SBC probably plays a role in that, correct?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I know the president has a bully pulpit, but I think a lot of power resides with the executive committee, of which he appoints a certain portion every year of the executive committee.
Okay.
And that's where his power comes from, appointments to the executive committee, and I think the other committees.
No, that makes sense.
But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know.
Okay. Our next topic here, Joe Biden is laying down the law. Joe Biden is laying down the law. Let me play a clip here.
Yes.
If the unvaccinated get vaccinated, they will protect themselves and other unvaccinated people around them. If they do not, states with low vaccination rates may see those rates go up, may see this progress reversed. Ultimately, those who are not vaccinated will end up paying the price.
So you will pay the price.
Yes.
Of
course.
Yeah. This part of what has concerned me this whole time is that our politicians have acted like they are going to be our saviors.
Of course.
And if you follow them, it's almost like it's a false gospel. Well, it is a false gospel. If you obey them, you live. If you disobey them, you will die. It's like the Lord
That's the way they like
Moses, I set before you life and death. Rather than whether encouraging that, to say, but people, you make your own choices in life. Let me say this. Did we ever hear that type of if you don't do this, you're going to pay the price when AIDS was spreading rapidly, especially in the homosexual community? Was there ever a warning about, you are transgressing God's law and will for your life, and you're going to pay the price for it? But was there ever that warning issued for that?
No.
Now, and you know what? I am not an expert on the subject of vaccines. I've heard both sides of it. I make my own choices. I will respect your choice on that matter. And so this is not my hill, but the unvaccinated will pay the price. That type of a mentality is, to me, sometimes it's said, what's more scary, when Biden is making sense or when he's not making sense? If you had to choose,
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a good one.
I would have to say when he is making sense, that's more threatening than when he's not making sense to me.
That's a good one. That is a good one. That is a really good one. You're right.
So,
I mean, what this is, I think, you know what I think, what it has set up, what this pandemic has set up, it has conditioned us for allowing politicians to talk to us as though they are flat out kings.
mm-hmm. Yes.
You know, that they're this totalitarian saviors. If he would have said this 10 years ago, I'm not sure Democrats would have tolerated this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But now what he's saying is it's no different than what Xi Jinping says in China.
Mm-hmm.
And we're accepting of this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not all of us, at least half of us are accepting of this.
Mm-hmm.
It is. Whew.
Yeah, so
it's something there.
No, it is. It's the. I think you're right. It's what the greatest threat has been what we've allowed our politicians to get away with. Now, even I'm going to say this. Even some of the good governors, I think there was a trap they fell into. Now, you could argue that some of the Republican governors did a much better job of it, but I think every governor, every elected politician should have been saying, you know what, we can't save you in this. We'll try to give guidance and direction, but to tell people, you know what, and if you look at it, all of the promises amounted to, I would say, empty promises, whether it's the failure of the lockdown, the failure of masks, the failure of everything. Now, have the vaccines played a role in keeping the numbers down? I think you have to say yes. I mean, I think, but there's a natural movement to this. Now, some of it is the number of people also that have been infected that theoretically should have now some degree of immunity. So you have a couple of forces, at work. The people, as I say, who have recovered, and the people who have gotten vaccinated. I think that, at least in part, shows why the numbers are dropping. But it's interesting when you try to do other correlations with what governments did regarding this or that. You see, you know what? It was not in their power. It was not that long ago that Biden was telling Texans, "You are Neanderthals."
Yep.
And there was, I think last week, there was a day where Texas did not report a single
Sunday
COVID.
It was Sunday, and Greg Abbott is saying he's waiting for his phone call from Joe Biden with an apology.
Right. Now that is quite astounding.
Yeah.
Now, are you going to say, "Oh, Greg Abbott is the one responsible for that"? No, I don't think so either. Right? I'm going to say that is the mercy of God. That is the progression there. So anyway, that's.
But all viruses go this way, Kelvin. The SARS virus is not killing people the way it did when it first came out. It's nothing's new. This is the way viruses go. When they're novel, they're the most deadly.
Right. There is a life cycle that these things have. We're not worried now today about the swine flu like we were in 2009. Which infected many millions of Americans. Not as many died, thankfully, from that flu. I think the number was close to 10,000, and it was more dangerous. We've commented on this before. 2009, that swine flu was more dangerous to children overall than COVID is. So and yet there was no pressure to close every single school in America. And respond that way. Though I believe there were some school closures during swine flu, but nothing like this.
And let's
COVID.
Yes, and let's not remember, many people question the numbers of deaths the numbers that's being reported as COVID deaths nowadays.
Correct.
I mean,
correct. In terms of what is the principal cause and what is just an
yes,
accompanying cause.
yes,
uh,
yes,
with that. So no, that there is, and that was the Centers for Control, the CDC. That was their own admission on those matters.
yes, yes.
Well, James, any final comments as we bring our new show on YouTube to a close here?
Yep, just we will try to do this every Thursday morning. Again, having a perspective of two pastors. We're going to have guests that come on regularly. Calvin and I will interview them. We will continue to again look at the world through biblical lens. And even if the world is crumbling around us, again, I myself, I know I have to do a better job of remembering. Not I remember, but just communicating that Jesus is still in control. He's still on the throne. He is sovereign overall. It's just our duty to respond in obedience and do the best we can in our context to lift up his name. So yeah, Thursday mornings here for such a time as this, we're going to title it Here I Stand Radio, and we will be tackling the topics of the day through a biblical lens.
Amen.
So
okay, James.
Yep, thank you.
We'll
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Calvin.
Congratulations on your son Josiah. Was it Josiah?
Yes,
right? That, tied
it
the
was
knot?
Josiah.
Yeah.
Oh, I wish you know what? I should have put some pictures here. You know what? I'm gonna. I think they wrote a song. I gotta call and confirm. They wrote a song for their wedding that was really good. So I'll probably bring that up next week. So
okay.
All right,
friends.
Calvin.
We'll
Take
talk
care.
to you later. Bye.